As a veterinarian trying to get mares in foal, if you have a horse as fertile as he is, makes your job a lot easier. If you didn't get your mare in foal to him, it wasn't his fault. It was either your fault or it was the mare's fault.
And though Somebeachsomewhere didn't come from a famous bloodline, he created one. His offspring had high expectations, and they delivered. They've been lighting up tracks across North America, many with names honoring their famous daddy.
Limelight Beach wins the 69th Little Brown Jug in 1:50-4.
His most famous son is Captain Treacherous,
Sunshine Beach, Luke and Hanover, Captain Treacherous wins again!
who nearly matched his father's earnings. And carrying on the tradition is Standing Stud at Hanover Shoe Farms. Even in retirement, Somebeachsomewhere is putting wet ink in the record books. His top 5 foals alone have brought home $11 million in total earnings, and there's more to come.
His foals, they're just different. You can go into a group of yearlings and pick them out. They are physically imposing. They mature much more quickly than the others. And I think that's what's enabled him to be such a great sire of especially 2- and 3-year-olds.
They broke records in every area on both hemispheres.
He just set an earnings record this year. His sons and daughters have earned over $20 million this year. That's in 1 year. That's exceptional. It's incredible.
No stallion has ever dominated like Somebeachsomewhere.
I've had people say to me that I think he's the greatest racehorse that ever lived. I know he's the greatest stallion.
Just when it seemed Somebeachsomewhere was at the top of his game, unfortunate news. The horse's health took a turn.
He didn't eat. That's usually the first sign in a horse that something is not right. And so we pulled some blood on him, and his blood work came back bad.
He's had trouble with his intestines. In the horses, it's called a horse having colic. The Hanover Shoe Farms people were concerned about it and sent him to a vet clinic to get checked.
He just kind of crashed on us. He got ataxic, which means he's not walking normally. He got a thrombus in one of his veins. It just seemed like kind of the wheels were coming off the bus.
He was in a lot of pain. So we had to make a decision. Are we going to operate on him or just cross our fingers and hope for the best?
He loved carrots, and I made the mistake to bring some carrots after his operation, and the doctor instructed me, you only give him 1 carrot. Well, that didn't go over very well.
The surgery for the colic was a success. But during the procedure, the veterinarians discovered something else.
They found a very small lump, which I'm told was smaller than a grape, just really small. And they took it out, and they did a biopsy, and I guess one of them came back and said it was cancerous.
Cancer in horses is very low incidence, so you really don't have a lot of comparisons.
He was like part of the family, right? He's on our walls at home. He's everywhere.
Even for a world champion racehorse, there are some things you can't outrun.
When I called Brent, and it was one of the hardest phone calls I ever had to make when I called him, and I said, I think it's time. He said, let me talk to my group, I'll get right back to you. He was very upset.
Brent called me, and we had to make the decision, put him down. Yeah, it's no fun.
The water's cold in Halifax. It was late September when I took that bath.
We as humans have the privilege of deciding our animal's end of life. I was grateful for that.
I bit my tongue in my hometown and watched those leaves turn to dirty brown.
It's a call that you just have to make. You don't let the horse suffer. That's the #1 rule.
You know, I saw him a month ago. I kind of said my goodbyes just in case. Like, I haven't been back in his barn. I just can't.
Messages came from all over the world, an outpouring of sympathy, grief, and respect.
Today is going to be that Some Beach Somewhere tribute show, Mike. We're going to take a look at his life, his career, not only...
I was getting continual emails and calls and so on, and I know Brent was getting even more.
The people that texted me and emailed me and sent messages through social media, he meant something to everybody, you know, everybody in our business, so...
The well wishes and the support we got was from all over the world, really. But one thing that has stuck with me is the caring and support of everybody that had touched Beach.
It was nice that people realized he was more than a horse to us. It was nice that people realized, you know, how devastating it was and, you know, how special he was.
Some Beach Somewhere belonged to the world, but the news hit hardest with those closest to the great horse.
And I felt more so I didn't know how it affected Brent, because it was more so it was a pet.
He put his job and his career on hold for this horse. He was with him 24/7 during his 3-year-old year.
It's devastating for us. You know, Beach looked for us every morning, and every evening we come to see him, and he was very happy to see us, and he let you know it.
Every race has its finish line, but there has never been a horse to run his race like Some Beach Somewhere.
Horses like Some Beach Somewhere are one of those horses that they have all of these magical components that all work together at the same time.
The mark that he left with people that saw him on the track, you just don't forget performances like Some Beach Somewhere put in. That's a mark that's going to be left on people for the rest of their lives.
It was phenomenal for the sport, get a lot of other people interested in it, and that tends to happen when you have an exceptional superstar.
This was a horse of a lifetime, and this was a horse that would stand above almost all others in harness racing history.
When they think of my career, they think of Beach. They think of me and Beach, for sure. I know I do.
For me, it was after having lost my wife. You never recover from somebody that you, for a 40-year marriage, you never recover totally. But I think it really helped focus me on something else.
Some Beach Somewhere will be a household name in harness racing for generations to come. His pedigree is going to show up in future catalogs for a long, long time.
It'll live on in his colts and his babies, most certainly. In fact, Hanover has one standing now, a colt of Beach's that I think Bridget indicated reminds her in lots of ways of his dad.
There will be another stallion that will become the best. There has to be, but they won't be him. They won't be as dominant as him. And if one does come along, it would be like having lightning strike twice. I mean, he's irreplaceable.
It's my distinct honor to announce that the O'Brien's Horse of the Year Award will now be referred to as the Some Beach Somewhere Horse of the Year Award.
We made a decision that we can pout and whine that we lost him too early, or we can be very thankful that we had him, and that's the route we're choosing to go. Thank you.
There's never been a horse so dominant on the track and in the breeding shed. Now his offspring continue that legacy.
His legacy will go on for generations because of his success as a sire with his offspring on the track. He'll be a broodmare sire for generations to come.
Since his baby started selling and since they've started racing, the 11 out of 14 world champions says a lot.
We will continue to breed horses and try to get Somebeachsomewhere fillies so that we can carry on his legacy longer.
We've had several offspring of Beach, and a couple of mares were breeding to Beach. We have the same optimistic thoughts as we train those young horses as we did before, but there hasn't been another Beach yet.
I mean, I was just along for the ride. I mean, I was fortunate. I was so fortunate to be able to be associated with a horse like that. It makes your career. It was amazing to be a part of.
Beach brought a lot to our lives and also to the industry, so it's important for us that we concentrate on, you know, supporting his babies, supporting his legacy. So that brings us some comfort, I think, as well.
At the auction where Somebeachsomewhere was bought for just $40,000, the so-called Beach babies can fetch nearly 10 times that much. As for Brent, he's turned his attentions to one of those babies himself.
He's not as tall as his dad at the same time, but he definitely has the muscle and the hind end and the shoulders that are very important in racehorses. And he likes to nip you the same as his dad did. But yeah, we're so far, so good.
And with a familiar face in the driver's seat.
I hope to have some more of his offsprings in the future and just watch his legacy grow even after he's gone. If I could be a part of a success story from one of Beach's offsprings, that would really, really make my life.
I think he was the most talented pacer that I've ever seen and one of the greatest horses that's ever raced.
It was just an honor, really a privilege to have been part of the group that presented this horse to the industry. We were rewarded every day.
This story's been so great to us for 10 years. It's been a great ride.
I don't think we would have to do very much to keep his legacy going. It's all about him. He's in a league of his own.
He is.
You know, when you look at the people that have went to the horse sales and bought the number of horses they've bought and never had anything come close to him, it's an amazing amount of luck. We made a lot of good decisions, but
in the end, we still pinch ourselves every day that we were lucky enough to have Beach.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's remarkable that we ended up with Somebeachsomewhere.
He's made history once again. Champion harness racing horse Somebeachsomewhere is set to be inducted into the Nova Scotia Sport Hall of Fame.
He will become the first ever non-human athlete to receive the honor.
And will join the likes of Sidney Crosby, George Dixon, and Colleen Jones.
Fans of Somebeachsomewhere will be happy to learn his legacy will live on in the Nova Scotia Sport Hall of Fame.